Any Given Thursday rolls along with Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. We go live every single Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. Appreciate all of you for making AGT a part of your day. We're talking some Golden State Warriors basketball on today's show because Jordan Poole continues to light up the NBA landscape, and so many people are just shocked and hyped up about what he's doing, and that also includes Steve Kerr, who's been very complimentary about what Jordan Poole has been able to do throughout Warriors preseason as well as Warriors training camp, and there's been a lot of conversation about Jordan Poole potentially becoming a third Splash Brother. Now, the reason for that is he's been putting up digits, Harrison, throughout the preseason, and he is probably the number one candidate to be either the most improved player of the year or the number one breakout candidate, because his numbers throughout the preseason have been ridiculous. He's been in his damn bag.
I'll tell you what, you've been covering this more than me. Shout out to Jordan Poole. He's the new Kelly Oubre. The real ones know. But 23 points, 44% from three. It's getting to a point where if you're Golden State, you may have to start this kid because he's just been that effective. Here's what Steve Kerr had to say. Quote, "The thing we're trying to press upon him now is his defense." Yeah, if you're getting 25 a night, you don't got to play defense. That's what I say. It's going to determine everything. His first half defense was pretty poor. In transition, he wasn't hustling back, wasn't playing with any physicality. Don't miss the pool party. Now, Kerr's probably right. He's got to play a little bit better on defense. He's got to work on that end. But if he's going to be like a 17, 18-point scorer for this team, that's a huge lift. You get that. You get Klay Thompson back. You got some depth pieces all of a sudden. Maybe Andre Iguodala gives you something later on in his career. And, of course, Steph Curry. But the pool party has arrived, Chase. I hope you got a new suit because this thing is lit out there in the Bay Area.
I'm ready to cannonball in that MFer, man. I'm ready to cannonball inside that pool party, and let's ride, because I'm thinking, are we going to get three Splash Brothers once again? Now, it started off with only two, with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Then Kevin Durant comes to Golden State, and he balls out in the Bay. They end up winning 2 championships together. KD goes to Brooklyn, and without him, this team has gone in a downward trajectory, mostly because of that and also Klay Thompson getting injured. But now we have Jordan Poole, who looked at first to be a bust. Now he could be a bona fide bucket getter. And I think they're going to share the floor all at the same time, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, well as Jordan Poole, because Steve Kerr said as much. And when it comes from the source, you have to take stock in that. Steve Kerr saying this about the new threesome Splash Brothers. When Steph and Klay are both on the floor with Jordan, we're going to have a chance to go from good shots to great all the time, because defenses are going to have to be responding in every direction. And Harrison, that's what made the Golden State Warriors with KD, Draymond, Steph, and Klay poetry in motion, and some of the most beautiful basketball that we've ever seen, because these guys didn't even need to dribble the ball in order for that offense to work, and that's going to be the same case with Poole on the floor.
And what's been crazy, and by the way, type splash if you think Jordan Poole's going to be the next Splash Bro, because hey, it could be the triplets once again with the new member here. What's crazy about Poole when you watch some of these highlights and stuff, a lot of it is it is him dribbling and playing ISO ball. So imagine if he's just playing within the flow of the offense. We know he can play ISO ball based on what we've seen in the summer and now into the preseason. But, man, if he's just catching and shooting from Steph and Klay, I mean, this thing's going to be fun in Golden State. I think that they've got a real player on their hands here in Jordan Poole.
And that's him being a real player is why we continue to talk about him on Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. And this is a channel that continues to grow like crazy, because Dub Nation isn't just in the United States. Dub Nation is all over the place. That's why we have more than 22,000 subscribers. So subscribe to Warriors Today using that link down below, youtube.com/WarriorsTV, if you want more Warriors news and rumors videos. Now, we want to pivot from that to this. Can the Warriors, because of this combination and this development of Jordan Poole becoming a very good player, contend with the Los Angeles Lakers? Now, Golden State, they do have some veteran players in the aforementioned Steph, Klay, Draymond, but they also have some younger pieces, and more younger pieces on the roster than a team like the Lakers do. And Steph Curry did say some interesting things about the Golden State Warriors makeup. You've got a lot of names that have been around for a while, a lot of guys that have won. Some haven't won, and some are hungry to win. They, the Lakers, have a lot of experience and talent and upside, just like everybody else in the league. So Harrison, do you think that Golden State can contend with LA in the Western Conference?
I think it's possible. I think what I do like is what they didn't have last year, and that's a good blend of veteran and young talent. Last year, it was just the Steph show, and they didn't have any depth whatsoever. I think they do have depth now with both some vets and some young pieces. For them to compete with Los Angeles, a couple of things are going to have to happen. Klay's got to come back and be healthy and be close to the Klay Thompson he was before, and this can't be a facade from Poole. Now, I'm not saying he needs to average 23, 24 a game, but he needs to be probably that number 3 type of scorer offensively after Steph and Klay, and that way it takes pressure off Andrew Wiggins offensively. He can go back to being more of that defensive stopper and maybe that number 4 scorer for this team. Maybe James Wiseman gets into the mix as well. I do think the Warriors are a much deeper team than they were a year ago. It's still LA. They're still the team to beat, the Los Angeles Lakers, but I think this is a pretty interesting development with Golden State, so it'll be very, very fascinating to see if they can get into the mix with the LA Lakers, who are one of the older teams in the NBA at this point in the NBA season.
And now, like, the Lakers' age, is it an issue? And does that age allow a team like the Warriors to kind of streamline to the top of the Western Conference? And when you look at some of the older teams to win NBA titles over the last, let's say, 2 decades, right? You go back to 2003, those San Antonio Spurs teams, that's really when the dynasty started to get going with guys like David Robinson and a young Tim Duncan. That team won it all in 2003 against, I believe, maybe the New York Knicks. 2008, it's the Boston Celtics with Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, as well as Paul Pierce. So many other good pieces on that roster. They were definitely on the back 9 of their respective careers. And then 2011, Harrison, this is a team that you know very, very well, the Dallas Mavericks, for when they dethroned the Miami Heat dynasty.
Yeah, all their key guys are in their 30s. So it's definitely possible for LA to win like this with an old team. But I do like, Chase, that the Warriors are getting some young blended talent with guys like Jordan Poole and hopefully some of the
Kuminga,
Moody,
yeah.
obviously Cum Bucket, and then James Wiseman as well once he is fully healthy, which he should be healthy pretty darn soon. So we'll see what happens with Golden State and whether or not they can actually compete in the Western Conference.
And for the Warriors to really fulfill their expectations that they have set within their building in the San Francisco area, you need Klay Thompson healthy. You need him knocking down threes and playing high-caliber defense. But also, I think this is such an underrated storyline for Golden State. Can Draymond Green find a way to step up offensively?
Yes.
Because, Harrison, you know this very well. His offensive game has really, really been bad over the last couple of years. And Steve Kerr has made this a point of emphasis for Draymond to be more aggressive on the offensive end of the floor. He has said, I want Draymond to take 2 to 3 3-pointers per game, which could do wonders for stretching the floor and just giving Golden State another option offensively. So who you got in a playoff series if they were to meet today between the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors? Type LAL for the Lakers, type GSW for the Golden State Warriors. Get those votes in the comment section for those of you watching on Warriors Today. I know you're riding with the Dubs. Also, if you want to talk basketball, you want to talk NFL, you want to talk life, hit me up, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. It's the same handle on both. Slide in my DMs. Let's chop it up. I always love interacting with the audience.